Manchester United out of the FA Cup will play 40 games this season. Knocked out the first round to Grimsby in the Carabao Cup. Knocked out the FA Cup in the first round by Brighton. Like, the club is in rock bottom. No manager. Darren Fletcher hasn't won a game. Turmoil, ownership, all that stuff. I'm going to be talking about how United are ultimately finished, and I know it is a bad note to kind of say. This is just my honest thoughts on Manchester United right now, because they're a team that are massively struggling. We've seen sort of how bad it's got at United in the past few weeks. We've seen how bad it's been from the players, but ultimately it starts from these guys. You know, these criminals, Ratcliffe, Wilcox, Barada, like three jokemen at Manchester United ultimately don't know how to make football decisions. And ultimately, all the decisions they've made have led United to this point, whether that's keeping on Ten Hag, whether that's the sacking of Ashworth, whether that's the signing of Ruben Amorim for 3 years and then abandoning the project halfway through, whether that's the redundancies, not signing enough players, Amorim falling out and sacking him based on the results, based on what he said in the media, not the results. Like, these are criminals, and as I said, I don't trust them to make the result, but ultimately it's these guys leading the clubs, making the decisions that where the problem lies ultimately. I think United as an institution are finished, and it's going to take a miracle to get United back to the top. And it's sad because since I've been supporting United, it's been, well, I'm 18, so I'd say 8, 9 years I've been following the club. I think I've seen United won an FA Cup, a Europa League, and another FA Cup and a Carabao Cup. Like, from all of what I've seen, of what I've videos and stuff of sort of the Alex Ferguson era, like, to see where United are in now is just an absolute shambles. And we've had all the managers, we've had Mourinho, Van Gaal, Ten Hag, ex-player in Oli, and they haven't been able to get the best of this United team. Now, listen, Ineos, big job for them, big job to get United back. Now, this is the lowest games we're going to play. There isn't really nothing the season's finished. Like, there's not really much you can do to save the season. 40 games, the least since we played since 1914 when there was a world war. Over 100 years. It's abysmal. And I'm not saying that's on the hierarchy. I just don't think the players have been good enough to get the performance in the past few games. But as a team, and it stemmed from the owners, they've not been good enough and they haven't made the difference. And I know the players are not good enough. I think they are fragile, as we've said. The players are struggling at the moment. They're fragile. There's no confidence there. They're not playing well. I think as a team, from the decision from the top to the bottom, it has not been good enough for Manchester United at all this season. And yes, Ruben Amorim was time to sack him, but in the way in which they did sack him wasn't the right decision. And I think the sort of club, I don't know where you go from here, because listen, we've got top players, but the players are not even performing. It's not the system, it's not the formation. That isn't the problem, because listen, we play a 4 at the back, we play a 3 at the back. You can play a 7 at the back. It's not going to change anything. I think we have incompetent players who, listen, some of them are not good enough, if we're being honest. And it's not just off the Brighton game. We've seen Wolves come to Old Trafford and look like a top side. We've got a draw against Burnley. We've lost to Everton with 10 men. We've got a draw against West Ham. Like, it has not been good enough this season from United as a whole. But we find ourselves in a position where, listen, there is the only thing that is salvageable from the season is to get into Europe, and that looks impossible, because whoever comes in, it's looking like they won't be able to get the result. So listen, my thoughts on United right now is looking dark. We're struggling as a team, as a football club, and the way that it's being run from top to bottom isn't good enough, and they have to make big decisions. And I think it starts with getting rid of Ineos and the Glazers. You need full ownership to be removed from Manchester United. I think that's the biggest problem. But ultimately, the Glazers and Ineos have ruined the football club, because yes, it was looking good. You bring in, what was it, 30% investment. They're making all the football decisions, but that's probably the worst decision in the long run. I mean, they're not making competent decisions. They're, as I've gone through this, sacking of Dan Ashworth, keeping Ten Hag for the way in which they did, signing Amorim, which I didn't think was the wrong decision at the time, but they didn't back him and giving players. Ultimately, he called them out in the media, which he was right to say, because they haven't backed him and there has been too much interference by them. They ultimately sacked him, and I think that's been the problem for Manchester United, just incompetence at the top level. And that's been it's coming up to 14 years since Manchester United last won a league title. And you look at all the managers, like, the club is rock bottom at the moment, and I don't know where you go from here really, because I just think there are too many problems. So yeah, I mean, we will have to wait and see what goes on. I think the club is is in a very, very poor position. I mean, I love United. I mean, I've got the shirt on now, but they're a team that haven't done enough and haven't sort of shown why. And I don't know. There's a multitude of reasons. Whether that's sort of the players, the manager not being able to get the best out of them, the sort of ownership not backing them. But listen, I don't know what the problems are, but it certainly isn't the system. And I think Fletcher, now his tenure's done. We see who comes in as the next Manchester United manager, which positive PR they bring. But ultimately, these guys had a disagreement, and I think they are interfering too much. But these criminals, Wilcox, Barada, Ratcliffe, they need to get out of this football club, man. Because listen, I don't know who it is. I think the best ownership was probably the one to go for with Saudi and Qatar and that sort of deal, because they would have revolutionised the football club and they would have given enough money. I think you can see Ratcliffe's being tight. He's not someone who wants to be sort of that guy to push things forward. But ultimately, it's been a shambolic season for United. Last season was our worst ever season, finishing 15th, no European football, not even a trophy. I think it was over 15, 16 losses in a league season. Then you sack Amorim, worst win ratio as a manager. Now you look at the 6 months into this season, we're into January now. Is it 6 months or 4 or 5 months into the season? We've sacked a manager, we're out of the FA Cup, we're out of the League Cup. And yeah, we have nothing really to play for. I mean, where the United sit in the league, don't really care. And it's not getting any easier from here. So we'll see. Right now, I think it's looking very, very bleak for Manchester United. I mean, we'll see what PR comes out. But simply, I think there's just a lot. I think if you look at it from a performance perspective, they haven't made the right decision with the managers. But ultimately, there's not enough good managed players at the football club to get the job done. I think, listen, we're trying to trust the youth, and I think that's a good thing. Look at Shea Lacey, Mainu, these sorts of players are good, but we don't have enough competent players. Injuries have been a problem, but we'll have to wait and see what does happen. Let me know your thoughts. Peace. And yeah, listen, United have finished in my opinion. And it's been struggle after struggle after struggle, and I'm hoping United are back soon. I'm hoping we do kind of see the real United back, because the best moment I've seen at the club is under Jose Mourinho, and look how long ago that was. So yeah, let's see if we can get the vibes back. That was just my honest thoughts of United right now. The club's broken from top to bottom. The owners all the way to the players, fragile. Players lacking confidence. Not good enough performances on the pitch. No trophies. 40-game season. I mean, where do we go from here, man? Because it's looking dark and it's looking peak for Manchester United right now. But let me know your thoughts. I think it has to start with full ownership removal, and we go from there. But it's not good for United, and I think they're going down. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.